the game this weekend that you guys care about and that we care about is the Commanders and the Ravens. 4-1 Washington, 3-2 Baltimore. Commanders are still heavy underdogs, I would say. Little surprised by the line. I will bury the lead, I guess, here to tell you right off the top, Danny. I'm sniffing a Commanders cover and a Ravens win, probably tight.
Okay.
I think Baltimore does have enough firepower, and maybe it's just my lack of full trust in Washington's defense to make the stops that they're going to need to win the game. But I think this idea that it's going to be 7, 8, 10 points, I'm not seeing that. I think the Commanders go up a weight class. I think they acquit themselves very well. And I think when this game ends, the Ravens feel really good because they just beat a solid Washington team that was 4-1, and they're now 4-2 and where they need to be. And I think Commanders fans like you guys, people like Danny and I talking about this team, and everyone in that locker room, while they won't feel it right after the game, I think they're going to feel like they're in a really good place because they just took on one of the better teams in the league and handled them very well.
I generally roll my eyes and then look for something else to listen to when people start like ripping off gambling trends as part of my sports radio listening experience. When someone's like, for the last 17 games, road teams that are 2.5-point dogs have actually covered 41% of the time. So bet the over. Okay, I'm sorry. That's not interesting to me at all. Like, talk about the football game. But here is something that I do find interesting as it pertains to this one and the league in general. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but I think I saw it yesterday. It's around 80% or maybe more of teams that are huge underdogs have either covered or won outright over the course of this season. The reason I bring that up is this is not what we're used to, where there's a handful of teams that are just, Sauron with the ring on, whooping everybody's ass. They're good teams. There's plenty of teams that are pretty good to good. The any given Sunday trope, of course, applies, but I don't think there are true separators yet. Even though Kansas City's 5-0, Minnesota's 5-0, they're good. They have the best resumes. They deserve all the accolades. But it's not like it was maybe a handful of years ago where you go, that's a have and that's a have not. I think a lot of teams have. Not a ton, but they've got it's spread out a little bit. It feels more.
A lot of teams have not, but
maybe that way. Yeah,
like it's all a bigger bucket with more teams in it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, just this line does not make a ton of sense. Now they know what they're doing. The buildings are big for a reason, but it does not feel like these two teams should be 7 points apart. But the idea that the line is this big is a clear indictment on Washington, as if to say they expect a regression.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is. They're saying, we don't think you can do it again. So either the Commanders go out and prove them wrong, or it's a 10-point game, and they do come back to earth a little bit. But that's what this is. I don't think it's this huge endorsement like the Ravens are just some immovable object.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they've been favored by this many points in other games very frequently. Wasn't the case when they played Dallas as an example. So I think this is a still sign that everyone's not completely bought in on the Commanders. I did a radio hit in Baltimore today. By the way, here's how you know, if I could say this selfishly, that business is a booming in town. Everyone's like, oh, it's better when they lose for you guys. You want them to lose.
It's the most wrong thing in the world, by the way.
You have no idea what you're talking about. I started my day with a hit on Fox 5. I have subsequently did an interview with Channel 9 in D.C. I have gone on a fan podcast for 40 minutes in D.C. I did a radio hit in Baltimore. I did a national phone call earlier today. Like from 9 a.m. until 1:30, I was just doing things about this game.
Mm-hmm.
It has not happened since I was on the beat in 2012 when Robert Griffin and Washington were playing Dallas for the division.
When they're 2-5, we're not asked to do those sorts of things.
No.
Nobody really wants to hear from us unless a coach gets fired, and then it's back to business as usual where no one wants to hear again.
I say this, though, not to brag about the fact that it's been a fun day for me.
Yeah, good humble brag, Grant.
Thank you. Let me just pick up all of these assignments that I had today. I said this because when I was on the Baltimore interview that I did, one of the things they brought up was, but the Commanders haven't beaten anybody. And I don't remember exactly, but I think the combined record was maybe like 6-14 of the 4 teams Washington's beaten, which I had not seen anywhere. But they were doing the, are they that good bit? And the point I would like to make to them or to anyone else is, it's not that the Commanders are beating teams. They have dominated teams. If they beat the Cardinals by a field goal and they beat the Browns by a walk-off Austin Seibert 41-yard field goal.
Yeah, we're doing but.
Sure. Then disrespect them at your own peril and all you'd like to. I wasn't impressed by their win over the Giants. I think you could rightfully say they laid an egg and got destroyed by the Bucks, a pretty good team. They barely beat New York and probably could have lost that game. But you can't play that game with the last three, I don't think. Are the Bengals 1-4? Yes, but you went to their place before they were 1-4, when they still had a chance to save their season and get on track. And when Burrow was healthy with Higgins and Chase, and you got a really impressive win. Then you go to Arizona and you bludgeon them. You didn't beat them. You take the half of the fourth quarter off. And then the Browns game, you don't even play your starters in the fourth quarter. It was such a laugher. It was so embarrassing. So the whole who have they beaten? This is their record. This is the record of teams that they've won against. It does not work for me when you're not just winning, you're dominating.
It's an important distinction because they've won 4 in a row. Had they won all 4 like they beat the Giants, you'd go, this is fun, but come on. We know there's a regression
you'd
coming.
say they're not that good. Yeah. They're squeaking out wins against bad teams, and when they play a good team, they're going to get destroyed.
We've seen that here in town. That Alex Smith, the year that he broke his leg, that's what they were doing. They were winning these weird games, these low-scoring rock fights, and you go, I'm glad they're winning. That's fun. I'd rather win than lose, but this isn't sustainable. They're not great, and something bad's going to happen. You didn't know it was that, by the way. But, yeah, this is different. Like, when you are playing a team that's trying to save their season on the road, Monday Night Football, and the kid plays the best game of his career, one of the best games you're going to see this season. Then you follow that up with all the accolades and all the success and all the finger guns and all the people super excited. How great is all this, with an even better performance on the road without Austin Eckler? Then you follow that up with a game you could have scored 50 against a pretty good Cleveland Browns defense. It's not like they're eking it out, right? I mean, you look at some of these games that other teams are playing that are in their same bucket, where whether you win or lose, it's like, nip and tuck. I mean, Houston, who I think is really good, just did not deserve to beat Jacksonville, who's garbage, and their coach is about to get fired. Like, if it's that, you're going, okay, I'm a bit more skeptical. There's a reason for optimism here that's beyond they've won 4 in a row, right? You can get heads on a coin toss 4 straight times. It's different, though.
It feels like the Commanders are going to have to stop the run if they're going to win. There's probably a path to the Ravens running the ball really well and still losing, because points ultimately do come from the passing game. But if the Ravens are running the ball, they probably have everything they want at their disposal. The formula I've drawn up in talking about this game all day, I do not think the Commanders' defense can stop the Ravens' offense consistently. I don't think they are built to shut down Henry and Jackson. I just don't think it's a fair ask. I know they were pretty good against Arizona, and they were very good against Cleveland. But Deshaun Watson is now walking through that door, and that unserious joke of an offense is not the assignment this weekend. So here is where I'm at on this. I think it's a game where you need to be preaching all week, Joe Witt. His ball is life bit.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to make me 5 plays. That's what I need. I need 5 game-changing plays. Ideally, 2 of them, at least, maybe 3 of them are takeaways. There's going to be, I'll give you 55 that don't go our way. They get a 4-yard, 7-yard, 9-yard run, a 14-yard pass. Lamar rips off a 21-yard scramble on 3rd and 3. I'm going to give you, if you want 55 bad plays, you can have them, defense. I need 5 really good ones. Because even if they score in the 20s, if I give my offense a short field a couple of times, if I generate a takeaway, if I get a big sack fumble that puts them behind the sticks on a big drive, and I make that one of my plays, I've got a chance to win. Coaches are always up to their shtick. They're breaking a watermelon, or whoever has the biggest hit holds the bat. You got the hit of the week, right?
Mm-hmm.
My shtick this week that I came up with, if I'm Coach Paulson, is like Thanos' hand. Okay, so everybody walks into the meeting room on defense, and I've got a little gem on every person's desk.
Oh.
And I want 5 of those bitches at the end of this game handed to me.
Grant's going 5 Infinity Stones,
okay.
Darius? I like this.
I want 5 of those put into each one of these fingers, and you make the play, you get the takeaway, put a gem on the hand, right? You get a short field from my offense, put a gem on the hand. And if I got 5 of those, we win the football game. Who's bringing me my stones this week? That is my bit if I am Joe Witt with this defense. You're going to get yours, Baltimore. Lamar, really good at this. Derrick Henry, big bad man, sent from another planet to run people over and stiff arm them into Wednesday. I need 5 plays. Can I make 5 plays? And that's the whole game for me.
Best formula to me, I smell what you're cooking, by the way. Best formula to me is Baltimore hasn't had to do this. They usually don't, by the way. They're good at what they do, and they end up with 12, 13, 14 wins a year because of it. But if you make them play from behind and make them a drop back passing team, they can beat you that way. But they're not as good beating you that way as they are playing their way. Their way is it's Derrick Henry early and often, mixed in with some Lamar keepers, mixed in when you get tired of both of those things. Then it's the tight end in the seam or somebody down the football field or a deep shot or something to that effect. The thing that Washington hasn't done very much of, and I wouldn't either, by the way, is leave their corners on an island. They're terrified, rightfully so, of their cornerback play. I wonder if this is the week you do it. I wonder if this is the week where you say, you know what? Big boy pantaloons on time, Noah Gbenogany. Big boy pantaloons time on Benjamin St. Juste. We're going to walk some folks down into that box, close to that line of scrimmage. You guys aren't going to have much help. Have at it. We're going to thump a little bit. We're going to try to win a pushing contest early. Then we'll help you later. Do you think they have the chutzpah? Do they have the stones? Do they have, you got the sand to give them a grand finale? You think they got the chance to do that? I don't know that I would. It scares me, but this may be the week you see it.
I don't trust my corners enough to play that game.
Even this week?
No, because I think Zay Flowers is a dude.
Oh, he's good.
I think if you do that, Zay Flowers goes like 8 for 114 and probably scores a couple majors.
Because they're, that's a good bet. Because like this to me, this defense is not good enough yet. And by the way, two good weeks in a row for them. They've turned into good assignments against Cleveland. I think you and I could have coordinated a pretty good defense, but that's a aside. I still don't trust them to be able to stop a bunch of things at once. So this is like, which hole do I want to plug? And if we decide the most important thing to plug is running, stopping the run, or stopping, gash runs, keeping everybody in front of us, maybe that's the play. I don't know, though. I mean, to me, I think they're just going to be willing to deal with body blows all game long.
So here's my question for you guys. Will the Commanders be able to stop the Ravens running game? And we're not talking about holding them for 25 attempts for 70 yards.
Yeah, nobody has, by the way. Literally nobody.
It's the best rushing attack in the National Football League right now with Washington.